Okay, this lesson is over Pythagorean theorem. We have been talking about Pythagorean theorem many times, but we're just now getting to it and going to learn how to use it. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to turn in your ISNs to your glossary, to the P's. And we're going to put Pythagorean theorem into our glossaries. Okay, this is the relationship between the lengths of the sides of a right triangle. Okay? The formula is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now for this to make sense, you have to understand the parts of a right triangle. I'm going to draw this right triangle here. Alright, the first thing that you need to know is that the side opposite the right angle, here's the side opposite the right angle, is always c. Okay? It's called the hypotenuse. And this side opposite the right angle is always the longest side of a right triangle. The other two sides, these are known as the legs of the right triangle. And you can use A and B interchangeably for the legs. Okay, it doesn't matter which one you assign to be A and which one you assign to be B. As long as the longest side across from the right angle is assigned C, then you can use the Pythagorean theorem. Okay? Now, I want you to take the study guides that I gave you in class, these pink study guides for Pythagorean theorem. These should be glued down onto the next page into your notebooks. And I'm just going to show you how to plug these numbers into the Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side lengths. Alright, look at number 1 on your study guide. Give yourselves our usual teacher-student column. And number 1 is a triangle that looks something like this. And they've given me the two legs, and I'm looking for the hypotenuse, the side opposite the right angle. That's always going to be assigned C. Alright, so I'm going to write my formula just like any formula math problem. And then I'm going to plug in my values. Remember, these are the legs, these are my A and my B. So I'm going to say 4 squared plus 5 squared equals C squared. Alright, let's go ahead and simplify. 4 squared, that's 4 times 4, that's 16. 5 squared, that's 5 times 5, that's 25, equals C squared. Alright, now I'm going to add these together. 16 plus 25 is, what is that, 41. Alright, now, I found what C squared equals. I need to know what just C equals. So how do I simplify this? Well, if I know what C squared equals, in order to find C, I need to take the square root. And if I take the square root of C squared, that will give me C, because C times C is C squared. Now, the square root of 41, it isn't a perfect square. C is equal to the square root of 41. Now, if your directions said, it says to round to the nearest tenth. So here's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to get a calculator, because it doesn't have a perfect square root. So I'm going to get a calculator, and I'm going to say 41 and I'm going to hit the square root button, and that's what I get, 6.4 to the nearest tenth. C equals 6.4 feet. Okay? Alright, I want you to look, I'm going to skip down to number 3. Three gives me this triangle. It tells me that this is 25 and this is 15, and I don't know my A value. Now notice, this one's a little different because they gave me the C. This is the longest side. This is the hypotenuse, the side opposite the right angle. So when I fill in this formula, 25 has to go where the C is. Okay? I don't know what A squared is, but I do know that B is 15. Alright, now we just start simplifying. A squared plus 15 times 15 is 225. And 25 times 25 is 625. Alright, now I need to get this A squared by itself. Right now, 225 is added to it. So what's the opposite of adding 225? I need to subtract 225 from both sides. And that leaves me with A squared equals 400. Okay, now I don't want to know what A squared equals. I want to know what just A equals. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides. The square root of A squared, that's A, because A times A equals A squared. The square root of 400 is 20. Comes out nice and evenly, because 20 times 20 is 400. So my answer should be 20 inches. Alright? So, on the student side, I want you all to do number 4, which gives you an A value of 7, a B value of 12. You need to find C. And number 6 on your study guide gives you a B value of 14 and a C value of 20. You need to find A. Alright? Make sure that you get the formulas plugged in correctly and then just use algebra to solve. Come in with these problems done and we will review them and then work on some more practice problems in class.